to Our of a Halfling, where we talk about Lord of the Rings and a little bit about D&D. So let's get to it. Today we're going to go over Chapter 8 of the Darkening of Valinor. So at this point in the story, Melchor has escaped from Valinor. The Valar got wind from Fenway that he was trying to get a hold of Feanor and a hold of the Silmarils, and so they tried to go after him, but they saw that he had vanished through the Kalakira. So Manwë believes that he's gone back to Middle-earth, gone up north. He's not entirely sure. And Orome and Tolkis are trying to find Melchor at the moment. So Melchor has indeed gone to Avathar, which is a narrow land south of the Bay of Eldamar and is at the eastern feet of the Pelori. Here, there are the land is kind of in shadow in this area, and here lies Ungoliant. So Ungoliant, it's not entirely sure, but the Eldar believe that she is a Maiar that was corrupted by Melchor at the beginning. However, through her own lust and greed, she had no desire to have a master and became her own master, her own mistress, and has kind of kept herself hidden this whole time. And she has escaped the Valar and Orome, and yeah, she's just in hiding, and she hungers light and hates it. So here she has taken the shape of a spider of monstrous form. It says, weaving her black webs in a cleft of the mountains. There she sucked up all light that she could find and spun it forth again in dark nets of strangling gloom until no light more could come to her abode, and she was famished. So Melchor goes to Avathar to seek out Ungoliant, and he takes on once again his Dark Lord form that he once had in Autumnum, and he tries to convince Ungoliant to join him in his revenge against Manwë and the other Valar. And he says, do as I bid, and if thou hunger still when all is done, then I will give thee whatsoever thy lust may demand, yea, with both hands. Of course, this is a lie. That's what Melchor does. He lies. So he's saying this with his fingers crossed. So Ungoliant agrees, and it says a cloak of darkness she wove about them. So she covers them in darkness, and they begin to go towards Valinor, towards the trees. And it says that she climbs the summit Hyarmentir, which is the highest mountain south of Taniquetil, because Taniquetil is the highest peak of the Pelori, and she's gone a little south of that. But here they're able to see the light of the trees, and Melchor is just giggling at himself. Ungoliant has allowed him to climb up to this summit, and they're just giggling in their maniacal laughing of their soon revenge against the Valar. So during this time, again, the last chapter ended with the Noldor and the elves and the Valar not seeing eye to eye. Melchor has sown a lot of seeds of deceit, and so everybody's not getting along at the moment. So because of the trees, and now we have the passage of time, Yavanna's plants and trees give off fruit at certain times, and usually during these times there is a feast where they gather up all the fruit and they enjoy everything. Well, Manwë has made this into an even bigger deal than usual, because he's wanting to use this as a time to reconnect with the elves, reconnect with the Noldor, and try to heal some wounds that Melchor has created. And so he gathers everybody together, and it says that the Teleri are kind of not super interested in the whole festival. They're out doing their thing on Tolaresea, and they're just living their life. And as far as the lights go, it kind of says that because it doesn't touch them as much as Valinor, they kind of don't care. They're like, yeah, you guys do you, we're gonna do us. And so they don't really take part in a whole lot of what's going on. However, the Noldor are asked to come to the festival, specifically Feanor and his sons, and all those that have been exiled to Formenos, his sons in Fenway. And so they come, and Feanor is not super intrigued on this whole idea of, coming together and kumbaya and everything like that. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna be here, but the Silmarils aren't coming with me because I don't trust you guys. So he's left the Silmarils behind. He's not in any sort of fancy attire. He's just like, I'm here. He asked me to be here, so I'm gonna be here. And he does get with his brother at this point, and his Fingolfin, who he threatened. Fingolfin puts out his hand, and says, as I promise I do now, I release thee and remember no grievance. And Feanor takes his hand back and is kind of silent for a little bit. Fingolfin says, half brother in blood, full brother in heart will I be. Thou shalt lead and I will follow. May no new grief divide us. And Feanor says, I hear thee, so be it. And it says that, but they do not know the meaning that their words would bear. So we'll come back to that in another chapter, but I find that really interesting. So everybody is here at this festival, at this great, feast, and everybody's here to praise Eru and enjoy all the wonder that is around them. And at this point, it says that the trees are now the lights of the trees are mingling and kind of getting ready for the next tree to take light. And at this point is when Melchor and Ungoliant reveal themselves. And Ungoliant runs forth and begins to destroy the light of the trees. It says that a black cloud upon wind fleets over the sunlit earth, and they came before the green mound of Ezolohar. Then the unlight of Ungoliant rose up even to the roots of the trees, and Melchor sprang upon the mound, and with his black spear he smote each tree to its core, wounded them deep, and their sap poured forth as it were their blood, and was spilled upon the ground. But Ungoliant sucked it up, and going then from tree to tree, she set her black beak to their wounds, till they were drained, and the poison of death was in her, went into their tissues, and withered them, root, branch, and leaf, and they died. And it says she's still hungry, so she goes after the wells of Varda. If you remember, back when the trees were created, Varda had been collecting the dew from the trees and was putting them in wells. So they carried the light of the trees. So Ungoliant drinks all that up. She hates light. Remember, she hungers for it. She hates it. So anything that has light, she's going after it. And through this, she grows great in size. It says she swells up to the point that Melchor now is afraid of her. So darkness has now covered all of Valinor. And it says that there's no song or tale that could contain all the grief and terror that then befell. So now Varda looks down from Taniquetil and sees all the darkness that has engulfed the land. Melchor and Ungoliant make their escape. They vanish. Manwë tries to seek them out. He tries to go to his peak to look out as far east as he can look, but all he sees is darkness, darker than any darkness he has seen. It is a void that she has covered them in. And Tolkis goes out and he's trying to fight. Orome goes out and he's trying to hunt for her. But all they see is darkness. And it says that Tolkien is just hitting the air and with no avail. There's nothing. And Melchor and Ungoliant have vanished. And the land is engulfed in darkness. That's the chapter. So, yeah, not good. Not great. It's troubling. So yeah, it's dark, if you guys didn't catch that. I really enjoy Ungoliant, and she is probably one of my favorite bad guys at the moment. And again, I've read these first few chapters before, so maybe that will change later. But at the moment, Ungoliant's probably one of my favorite bad guys. She just, yeah, she's massive and hungry and swells. And I love this idea of her scaring the bejeebers out of Melchor, which seems to happen often with Melchor. Like, I mentioned this in the last video, that he must be extremely charming because he's kind of an idiot. Honestly, like, he makes dumb choices. Like, he's smart and conniving, but also really dumb. Like, he kind of seems like a scaredy cat. Of course, he hates Tolkien, like he should. But also, he is the one who corrupted Ungoliant, and now he's fearful of Ungoliant because she's so massive. And I know what happens later on with Ungoliant, and it's amazing. So we'll get into that next week. I'm excited. But she's a great character. And if you want to know more, I believe Nerd of the Ring has done a video on Ungoliant. Go check it out. It's awesome. It's amazing because she's an amazing bad guy. I really enjoy her a lot. And I hate spiders, but I really like her. She's a great bad guy. She's just a good bad guy monster, and I like that. So yeah, this was a very short video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. And may the hair on your toes never fall out. Bye.